Once upon a time, in South Shields, England, lived a boy who loved to watch movies. But nobody ever imagined that one day he would become the acclaimed director and producer known as Ridley Scott. But how did Ridley Scott become such a renowned director? And why did he choose the life of filmmaking? Is it true that most of his early life, his father was absent? Is his brother also a successful film director? Did he really work as a trainee set designer with the BBC after graduation? Is it true that he was produced as a number of series, televisions? What was his life like before fame? It's time for me to answer all of these questions and more, since this is ASMR. Aaron, back at it again with another daily video to help you relax. So lay back and enjoy the ride. I hope this video gets you through your day, or even better, I hope this read helps you gently fall asleep. I can't wait to get started. This is the tale of Ridley Scott.
English film director and producer Ridley Scott was born on November the 30th, 1937 in South Shields, England, to Elizabeth and Colonel Francis Percy Scott. He had two brothers, one of whom was Tony Scott, who later also became a film director. He was brought up in an army family, so for most of his early life his father, an officer in the Royal Engineers, was absent. His elder brother Frank joined the British Merchant Navy when he was still young, and the pair had little contact. Ridley loved watching movies as a child, and by the time he reached college, he was actively pursuing a film career. He helped establish the film department of the Royal College of Art, and as his final project there, he made a short called Boy and Bicycle. He cast his younger brother Tony in the film, which was his directorial debut. After college, Ridley Scott went on to work as a trainee set designer for the BBC, which led to work on a number of popular television series at the time. In the late 1960s, Scott founded Ridley Scott Associates, a film and commercial production company, and brought Tony on to work with him. The company garnered attention for the Scott brothers along with other commercial directors including Alan Parker and Hugh Hudson. Still, Scott continued to pursue a career in film directing. He finally landed a job directing 1977's The Duelists, which was nominated for the main prize at the Cannes Film Festival and won an award for Best Film. Scott then went on to direct the movies Alien, starring Sigourney Weaver, and Blade Runner, starring Harrison Ford. Blade Runner failed at the box office in 1982, but later became regarded as a classic. In 1986, Tony Scott released the first blockbuster, with Top Gun beating his older brother to the punch. But Ridley Scott caught up in 1991, with Thelma and Louise, starring Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon. But Ridley Scott caught up in 1991 with Thelma and Louise, starring Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon. The film was one of his biggest critical successes and snagged Scott an Academy Award nomination for Best Director. Along with his brother in 1995, Scott founded and operated Scott Free Productions and worked on numerous commercials and television shows, in addition to his feature films. Gladiator, released in 2000 and starring Russell Crowe, became another huge commercial success for the director. Gladiator won 5 Academy Awards, including for Best Picture and Best Actor, and Scott received another Directing Academy Award nomination for his efforts. Scott would go on to work with Crowe on 4 other films. Following Gladiator's success, Scott directed Black Hawk Down, which starred Ewan McGregor and Josh Hartnett, and Hannibal, starring Anthony Hopkins, Julianne Moore and Ray Liotta. Many films that followed became some of Scott's more well-known successes, including American Gangster, which starred Denzel Washington, who worked with Tony Scott on 5 different films, Body of Lies with Leonardo DiCaprio, and Robin Hood starring Russell Crowe. In 2010, Scott worked on what was initially going to be a 2-part sequel to Alien, but ended up being a single film called Prometheus, which was released in June 2012. He also directed a commercial for Lady Gaga's new perfume. After directing the Cormac McCarthy-penned The Counselor, which earned mixed reviews in 2013 despite a star-studded cast, Scott helmed the sweeping epic Exodus: Gods and Kings 2014, with Christian Bale as Moses and Joel Edgerton as Ramses. The film, which had generated controversy over the issue of race and casting, had modest returns at the domestic box office, though faring far better overseas. Scott's next big budget effort, The Martian, was an unqualified blockbuster both domestically and abroad. In his role as a producer, Scott earned a Golden Globe in early 2016 for Best Picture, Comedy or Musical. The Martian also received an Oscar nomination for Best Picture, among other categories. In 2017, following the onset of sexual harassment allegations against actor Kevin Spacey, Scott took the unusual step of cutting the accused actor's scenes from his recently completed film All the Money in the World. The director announced that he was reshooting the scenes with Christopher Plummer and that he intended to have the project ready for its originally scheduled release date of December the 22nd. Despite the last-minute shuffling, which included securing the same shooting locations and the commitment of co-stars Michelle Williams and Mark Wahlberg, Scott pulled things together and even scored a Golden Globe nomination for Best Director. He later described the process as a bit of coordination with a lot of panic thrown in, adding that it was the most desperately difficult thing I've ever done in my life. Ridley Scott and his brother Tony produced CBS series Numbers 2005-10, a crime drama about a genius mathematician who helps the FBI solve crimes, and The Good Wife 2009-2016, a legal drama about an attorney balancing her job with her husband, a former state attorney, trying to rebuild his political career after a major scandal. The two Scotts also produced a 2010 film adaptation of 1980s television show The A-Team, directed by Joe Carnahan. Ridley Scott was an executive producer of the first season of Amazon's The Man in the High Castle 2015-16. Through Scott Free Productions, he is an executive producer on the dark comic science fiction series Brain Dead, which debuted on CBS in 2016. On the 20th of November 2017, Amazon agreed a deal with AMC Studios for a worldwide release of The Terror, Scott's series adaptation of Dan Simmons' novel, a speculative retelling of British explorer Sir John Franklin's lost expedition of HMS Erebus and HMS Terror to the Arctic in 1845-48 to force the Northwest Passage, with elements of horror and supernatural fiction, and the series premiered in March 2018. Scott was an executive producer for the 2019 BBC FX 3-part miniseries A Christmas Carol. Scott was twice married and has 3 children, all of whom are involved in the film business. He was knighted in the United Kingdom's 2003 New Year's Honours List. Scott suffered a shock when his brother Tony died on August the 19th, 2012, after jumping off the Vincent Thomas Bridge in Los Angeles, California. A suicide note was found at Tony Scott's office shortly after his death. And so ends the tale of the acclaimed director and producer Ridley Scott, who lived happily ever after, creating great movies that are appreciated all across the world.